I want to talk about why it's so important that we as women, doesn't matter whether you're in a partnership or you are thinking of creating plans with friends or even just doing something by yourself, it's really important that we are creating the standard. It's really important that we are choosing what to do and we're not factoring other people in when we think about what we want to do. And the reason why I really want to share this is because I've started doing this recently, where I just kind of go, screw you, I'm going to think of exactly what I want to do and exactly what I want to feel. And I get so much clarity and confidence when I'm actually going through these plans, actually living the experience that I planned with the person that I'm with. And the reason we don't do this usually is because we want to make sure that the other person is having a great time too. That's totally honorable. And thinking of making up plans this way by just factoring yourself in first actually helps the other person have a much better time too, because if they're having a wobbly, then we know the atmosphere that we're creating, the feelings that we want to create, and we can carry them through if they're a bit distracted and they're not enjoying something in the moment, or they lose their way, or they get a bit caught up in their head, or something triggers them. We can be the gravity that pulls them back. We can be the home safe space to be like, hey, we planned for this to be a really fun day out or a really sexy time out. Let me hold that pillar for you, if you like. And it doesn't work if you go into it with, okay, well, I'll think of what I want to do, but also factoring you in too. It doesn't really work if you try and please the other person more, because you're always going to be going into that event with, are they having a good time? But if you're having a good time, you are then a really strong foundation for them to tap into whatever you're feeling, even if they're not really enjoying it very much. And especially with men, especially with guys, I found that they're not, particularly in a restaurant scenario, they're not as fussed. They still enjoy a lot of the atmosphere and maybe a nicer dining experience, but from what I've learned, they don't appreciate it as much as women. Or I think it's just, to them, it can just be, it's a place where I eat. But for women, there's a lot more of an experience with it. And when we are letting ourselves feel and really liven that and animate that enjoyment in our body, that's what men can connect to. They can't find that, oh, this is such a lovely place, in their environment directly. They will often look to women that they are with, friends, mother, partner, and they will get the experience through them. So the more that you are enjoying yourself, the more that the other person can tap into you. And this is quite a scary concept, especially if you are more introverted or a people pleaser. That's more my background, because all of a sudden you are the foundation, you are the creator of the experience, and that can feel like a whole lot of responsibility. And what if they don't like it? And so I had a lot of fears before I would let myself do that, before I would let myself kind of say what I want and really feel the experience of what I want in the moment, because I want to make sure the other person's having a great time. But I've learned that if I keep on checking, seeing if the other person's having a great time, I'm definitely not having a good time, and they can sometimes waver between having a good time and not having a good time. So actually me being a reliable source of, I'm having so much fun, is amazing. The cost of this, if you will, is you have to hold and maintain the standard. So you basically don't let them derail, you don't really let them control the conversation. And this definitely does not mean that you are being strict or you are not listening to them. Actually, a lot of the experiences that I've had, I've not said much, they've kind of led the conversation, but I've been the one maintaining the boundaries, the rules, is this a fun topic of conversation or am I disinterested? And that's the big key, letting yourself be disinterested, express disinterest. And this, again, for people pleasers is so hard, because you want to please everyone. You want to make sure that everyone's having a good time, and you feel damn rude if you are not responding to everything that they are putting out. But this is the beauty of planning up front what experience you want to have. You know, for me, that meant this week I chose a restaurant that I wanted to go to, and it was usually a lot of the people that I go with, they're maybe a little bit money conscious, or they don't really get much from a dining experience that's nicer. And in this instance, I went, screw you guys, I'm doing this, you're welcome to join or not. And this person did end up joining me, and we had such a great time because I chose a place where I was like, I want to dress nicely. I want this to be a really classy and like sensual experience. And I don't necessarily mean sexual, I just mean very, very present in your body. I don't want to talk about day-to-day things and work and stuff that I've heard all the time. And I'm someone who doesn't like to talk all the time. I very much just like two people just being, enjoying the silence, making eye contact and feeling what's around me and enjoying the environment around me. Otherwise, when people talk, I can get a little bit single track focused. I lock into them too much and I miss the whole experience. I end up looking outside of my body in order to try and understand what are they wanting from me and how to give it to them. So I set the tone of this is how I want to feel. And because I did that up front, because I didn't let them choose the, in this case, restaurant, because I didn't let them dictate the tone of the experience we were going to have, I then gave myself permission to act disinterested. And to me, disinterested means you're still giving them eye contact, you're still looking at them, you're still present with them, you're still holding the emotions that they're presenting, but you're not responding, you're not encouraging. Even if they ask a question, you kind of just look at them, you might smile. I've learned actually sometimes I don't like smiling, and they get the idea pretty quickly that you're not interested. And actually, I wouldn't do this before because I feel really guilty that they'd feel rejected, and I'd hate rejection, and that I felt that way and they're never going to want to go out with me again. But actually what's happening is they're quite in their head. So when you stay in that really present place and you're kind of just looking at them and subliminally saying, I am here with you, but I'm not impressed, I'm not on the same level you are because you're way up in your head, they then go, oh, that's not working. And their natural, I want to connect with this person, I want to please this person, even if they're not a people pleaser, kicks in, and they start slowly coming down to your level. And they'll do it because you're not holding a place of, I want to ignore everyone around me. You're holding a place of, I'm in a really yummy place, enjoying this experience. And if you can get to where I am, it's going to be bliss. And that's what happens. It takes some time. It can be a bit awkward up front, or just take a bit of time for them to adjust and see where you are, because they're not going to be as used to being in their body as you are. But as soon as they get there, you have such a magical experience. And that's also why it's really important for you to choose the restaurant or the plans or the vacation that you want to go on, because if they're not present, or they don't even know it, they're kind of derailing you from the experience you want to have, you can plug out of them and you can start looking around and just going, really enjoying this experience. And that's something as well that you can do if they are talking about something that you're not interested in. You can just hear them, let that energy run through the body. As they're waiting for you to reply, you can kind of then just look around a bit, let yourself enjoy the experience and kind of just go, I really like it here. So you've kind of let that mental energy that they put out dissipate. You've held that space for it to dissipate. You haven't just cut them off and gone, you're already boring. You've held that, you've let it dissipate, you've showed that you've listened. They know that you've listened and you're still not replying. And then you tap into your body and so this is such a nice experience, or something that you like, or, oh, I'm really glad that we tried something new today, or just anything like that brings you back into the present. I like. They're going to realize, oh, hang on, I'm in an inappropriate mindset, or I've gone down the wrong way, or there's a more rich experience here that she's tapped into. I want to be on her level, so how can I get there? So through showing disinterest, you help people very gently and very lovingly get to the place of enjoyment that you're at, and that is one of the biggest gifts that you can give. I did this recently, again in a restaurant scenario, and the first half hour when we had drinks before the dinner was a bit clunky. They kind of kept talking about things during the day and things that they did previously, and I've known this person for a long time and they kept saying the same stories. I kind of just listened and let it run out and kind of showed that I listened and actually it's not worth responding to because it's not creating the the feel-good vibes that I want. And then they started changing the tune and they started also getting into their body and enjoying things and saying things that they liked and complimenting and helping others, and like in terms of interacting more with the staff. And it's just really, really nice to see that transition. So just because things are awkward the first half hour, first hour, doesn't mean that they're not going to get there. It just means that they're not used to being with someone who is present in their body and full of appreciation and wanting appreciation from life. So you just need to give them a chance to get there. So yeah, especially men, they love to tap into people who are animating appreciation in their body, and that's what we want. We're not trying to ignore people, we're not trying to make them feel bad or belittle. We just listen with love, and we don't have to respond. That's a game changer for people pleasers. We don't have to respond, and it translates into magic, because a lot of people pleasers, I believe, are naturally more comfortable and happier in their body. So the more we allow ourselves to feel that, the more we can share that experience with others who like to be in the mental plane but every now and then want a different experience. It's honestly, in the society where everything's really fast-paced and really mental, one of the biggest gifts that we could give. So yes, my first big tip is to plan ahead in terms of what do I want to feel, how do I want to dress, as in like I want to wear stuff that makes me feel really classy and fancy, or something that makes me feel silly and fun and youthful. You want to think about what is the experience I want to have when I book this trip or this restaurant, or I just go for coffee with that person. It doesn't have to be an experience in itself, just literally if I was going to their house, what's the vibe that I want to have? So decide up front how you're going to show up, what you want to feel. And it's really helpful to then put visual cues like wearing the stuff that helps you feel that way, because it just helps you maintain it in the middle of your activity or seeing someone or conversation. They're just kind of visual cues to remind you, yes, I came here because I wanted a really fancy experience, for example. So yes, decide up front and make sure you're doing it. What is going to give me this experience? So if I was going alone, what would I do or wear or say or go? You don't want to think, oh, but I'm going with this person and they don't like that. Forget about them. What do you want to experience? Because they won't care that they have to give up something, even if like they go to a restaurant that they usually don't like, because they're going to see you so happy that they're going to be like, holy shit, I don't even care what my experience is. I'm tapping into her and she's having a great time. So they won't even care because you'll just be feeling so good. And then it's about maintaining that. So ignoring, as we talked about, ignoring things that don't fit. When they get in their mental plane, it happens. Allow them to be heard and then just move it on. If you want to say something in return, just give that bit of a break. Let that energy that they put out dissipate. Drop back into your pleasure feelings and then pick out something that you really enjoyed. Or when the meal comes, just go, this is so lovely. Or thank you so much for taking me here, even though you were the one who chose the place, they still took you there. They like chaperoned you there. Men love this. They want to know that they facilitated in you having a great time, and you can share that back through appreciation. So I hope this helped. Let me know how you get on. Like and subscribe if you found it useful, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, my loves. Oh, also, I do have coaching spots opening up as well, and if you'd like to check out my courses that are available in the description box below. Thank you very much, my loves. See you soon.